Rashad, why you
Anyway,
didn't hit me up?
What's up, Rashad?
Hey, Rashad.
What's up, Rashad?
Thank you, Rashad.
brother, I love you, brother.
What's up, Rashad? What it do, boy?
Hey, Rashad.
As somebody who dated a manipulator before, this right here is manipulation.
Hold on, let me see. Rashad, if you go live when LeBron gets traded, the whole stream is gonna be loaded with people in there. Yeah, the most people I had was like I had like 30 when it was probably over 30. It's probably like 35, something like that, close to 40. When Caitlin Clark, not Caitlin Clark, Chrissy Sides, the old coach of the Indiana Fever, I think she was fired. She was either fired or she resigned. I think she was fired though in the offseason. And I went live and it was in the middle of the day during work. I kind of like just stepped aside and did it then. Yeah. So definitely if something like that happens. A lot of this stuff with live numbers is really just the time of the day you do it. Like right now it's 1:30 a.m. You know what I'm saying? So like, but if you do it in the middle of the day, people was gonna be watching for sure. She was fired to bring in size 2.0. It's hilarious. Rashad, if you go live on LeBron, the better. Yeah. All right. Back to Holla.
Let's talk about the Corey stuff, man. Now, when this news
W intro, Holla.
hit, I was actually like at a Love Island. What is it called?
Watch party.
A Love Island
watch party.
Like season finale watch party. That's where I was.
There you go.
Okay. So when the Corey stuff hit, that's where I was. I looked on my phone. They're like, "Yo, I know people seen the Corey allegations, blah blah blah," and I'm like, "Nah, Corey got allegations, bro. This is nuts." All right. So I look over to my friend. He does YouTube, but he don't watch YouTubers like I watch YouTubers. So I told him, I'm like, bro, they said Corey got allegations. This is crazy. So, to my surprise, he knew who Corey was. He was like, nah, bro, bro, do you believe it? I'm like, to be honest, I don't know. I got to see what is going on with this. And then the video started hitting. First red flag I seen. Now, I'm not going to say, yeah, I'm going to say it's a red flag. The first red flag I seen is making the video.
Yeah, Marcus Smart on the Lakers. I feel like he's been a non-factor, bro, ever since he left Boston. But we'll see. Maybe that's you don't know ball, casual, Rashad. Maybe that is. I ain't heard of anything Marcus Smart ever since he left Boston, bro. Like, I think he's just been hurt a lot, if I'm not mistaken, with Memphis. Like, he's barely been the thing. Hold on. Let me look this up. We have the internet here instead of me just saying that and moving on. All right, here we go. Marcus Smart. He's in Washington. Let me go pro reference. Last year, he played 34 games, so I was right. He hasn't done much since he's left Boston. He's with Memphis. Played 20 games before getting traded to Washington. No. This whole different year. He went to Memphis, 20 games, and then the next year, Memphis, he played 34 games before getting traded to Washington. He played 34 games in total. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm cooked. 19 games in Memphis before playing 15. Like, he just hasn't done anything. He hasn't done anything since Boston. I don't know why everybody's hyping Marcus Smart up, bro. It's not 2023, bro.
What would it say? Something avocado. And then it does the slow motion. Apparently, that's like a trend on TikTok. That's when I was like, "What? Who edits a video?"
Oh, damn, my camera.
To drum up and go on to a trend. Sometimes I see the people, they'll be like, what do they say? They'll follow a trend, like a trend sound, but they'll put like the words on there. That's one thing. Like, but to do that trend was kind of weird. So then, like, let me see if I could pull up the messages. Because I think they took the They took the TikTok down. But somebody got to have them.
But maybe it's not even, you know what I'm saying? Maybe it's not even that big of a deal, you know what I'm saying? Like maybe it's just Marcus Smart is, how old is Marcus Smart now? Maybe it's just Marcus Smart is 31. That's still young. That's still young in the league. I ain't gonna lie to you. But maybe he's just done, bro. Maybe he's just done. I mean, to waive 2 players and make room for Marcus Smart, like it's the game changer. It's not. The Lakers been making moves out of desperation to fulfill Luka's little satisfactions wherever the day since Luka got in. To show, hey, we all in on you, Luka. You the future, man. Luka, I know Luka was hot because Luka got traded from a worse situation than Dallas. Dallas lower expectations and a better roster. Now you go to a bigger place with more people focusing on you, everything like that, with the worst roster. Weaker roster.
Messages. Type it in on YouTube. See if we can find somebody who got it.
Yeah, these are his prime year 0.
She was talking like Corey was on some Diddy bacon avocado. That's what it is. So they were saying like bacon avocado. Yo, Corey did X, Y, and Z to me. And one thing I wish people would do are, yes, there are people who are abusive in this world, 100%. There are abusive people, but there's also people who will use people believing that people are abusers. They will use that to manipulate situations to an outcome that they would prefer. Like hitting, right? If you got a son and a daughter, not even, you can have 2 boys. My siblings did this because I was older than one of them. They would say situations happened a certain way for better treatment of them because they were smaller. You said the Xbox messages were fake because the account was made the same day. I think the account thing, I think that was they pulled up the Discord was made the same day. The Xbox account was real, I think. I don't know what was real or fake. But even if you look at what was said, the thing about relationships is when you talk to people, especially through text message, and this is why I think people need to go to real therapy and not look up therapy terms and then go on the internet and try to diagnose people because you're not a professional. There are people who have master's degrees, went to school 8 years, 6 years to get these degrees and learn about these words: narcissist, manipulator,
gaslighting,
verbal abuse. These are words that have
Holla,
like
you have
meanings.
to stop saying
verbal
that.
abuse is not
that.
Like
On YouTube.
Or abuse is like a pattern. Like verbal abuse is like a pattern.
Stop saying that.
If I turn to somebody random on the street that's like talking too loud and I say, "Yo, shut up," that's not verbal abuse. Now, if I follow them around all day and I say, "Yo, shut up," every time now I'm verbally abusing them.
Okay, bro.
And I think a lot of people, they take words that they hear. Narcissist is the big one of the 2020s. People are taking that word and they think anybody who does things in relative to how they feel personally, like if they dictate a situation
in the background
to
the camera quality is so good. That's what I keep looking at. I'm like,
and that person disagrees with that, they will label them a narcissist.
I'm sorry,
but that
over you, Holla.
Isn't necessarily the definition of a narcissist, right? So the first thing I seen was the video. And the thing that shocked me most about the video, she's laughing. I don't know if people don't know like social cues, but clearly he's joking. He's making a joke. And for all if you're not a Corey fan and you say, "Yo, that's something you should never joke about," blah, 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 I would get it. But if you are a Corey fan and then you watch that clip, Corey has made clips like that or made jokes like that in gameplays that he had. That's what made it so weird to me that like people couldn't fathom it being a joke. I think there was like Resident Evil when Shorty had the Resident Evil 7 Corey gameplay when Shorty was climbing out the she turned into the monster and climbed out the window. I think Corey like made a joke there about like a semi-sexual joke. I think in Scrutinized, was it Scrutinized? It was or maybe 12 hours. One of them gameplay, he made like kind of the same joke where it's a play on like it's a joke. So if you didn't accept those jokes, then you would have never supported like Corey in the first place.
Zero, so I think your narcissistic standpoint on this is blinding your prejudiced views on the way that you suppress women and the way that you don't believe of the International National Association of the Basketball Association.
I thought people were overblowing that, but there is the thing where people say like, yo, XYZ happened to me, this person did it. Then people take that microscope and they
the narcissistic without the express written consent of the National Basketball Association
put it up to the person and they're like, I'm looking through everything through this lens. I'm looking. So when the girl came out, what I feel like happened was everybody started to view the things Corey did through the scope of she said he's an abuser instead of looking at it through the scope of let me find out what happened. Right. So I'm trying to think. It's so hard to reference it without the actual messages for me to tell y'all. Hold on. Maybe I could go on. I know I can go on Twitter and find them. Let me see if I can find them on Twitter.
It's not clocking to you that I'm standing
Corey on messages. All right. So like this chat. This backpedal, I think this was later on. So let's go.
I want to also say this. The only thing that I have a problem with the Corey thing that I thought was crazy was like when she reached out to him and she was like, yo, I got cancer. And then he was like, what did he say? He said something like, yo, this is the craziest cancer announcement rollout I've ever heard. Or I was like, that was insane, bro. That was wild. That was insensitive. Like you knew she was a sensitive girl, and you say that when she like going through chemo. Like that's the only thing I had a problem with, to be honest. Everything else, like people just said, was like him being a bad boyfriend. I can't remember the video, like specifically all the notes because there was a lot of notes, but that was the one thing that I do remember. And I was like, yeah, he ain't fighting them bad person type of things, you know.
Let's go here. Okay. I don't. I think this was one of the messages that blew up, right? So she says, okay, so what's up? So apparently there was some talking that happened before that. He asked, are you still seeing someone? That's a perfectly fine thing to ask. Why do you ask? She said, because I'm trying to F your life up some more. Now, being that she said I was abused, people are reading this like he's saying, yo, he wants to come back and destroy her life, which if somebody was actually an abuser, that might be how they talk, right? But that is not the only way this statement could be taken. Somebody
boy, people will defend their friends, boy. And this is me saying I rock with Holla. Like Holla, someone without Holla, this won't even exist. The live streams every night without Holla and Keita Love Sports. Holla, the first one to even open the idea to me. Then I seen Keita doing the exact thing in the women's basketball space. I reach out to Keita, she give me the whole sauce for the rest of it. Like, so I rock with Holla, but goodness gracious, people will rock. They will, man, for someone they rock with, man, come on now.
Says this. Imagine you have a bad breakup with somebody, right? Or a bad falling out with somebody. They take one thing one way, you take it a different way. They're like, oh my God, I can't believe you destroyed my life, blah, 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 right? But then later on, y'all reconcile and it's like, yo, you know what? What you did wasn't that bad.
Oh, you weren't here that night, Dan? Yeah, Dan, it was a whole situation, bro. It was a whole situation, dog.
Young, somebody might make a joke that if we're going to talk again, oh, you want to talk again because I'm gonna destroy your life again. It's like it's a joke that pertains to things that may have happened in the past. That doesn't make that person abusive. It doesn't mean that person wanted to actually destroy that person's life. It's a joke referencing how they felt shortly after the falling out happened. I'm pretty sure there's people in your life where you were extremely mad at them. You would have said they ruined your life. 6 months go by, you think about it, you're like, yo, it wasn't really that big of a deal.
Shit.
Y'all come back, y'all talk about it.
Also, I gotta say this. This is 35 minutes. All right. We'll see if we get through it. But like, I wanted to say this about it. With me, bro, if I'm cool with you, if I rock with you, if I'm a fan of yours, I did the whole DDG Holly situation, and you know what I'm saying, I called out DDG on the way he was moving flawed throughout the whole situation. You know what I mean? And he's still going through it legally. And you can look up those videos and things of that sort. I've interviewed DDG, I want to say 3 times, but it was just 2 times. It was just 2 times. And I've been a fan of his since like 2017, actually. 2017. So it's just like, if I could have that type of allegiance to somebody, and when, you know what I'm saying, they do some mess up stuff, if I could call them out publicly on it, it is what it is, bro. Like, that's also a reason I'll be losing friends. That's the reason why I'll be burning bridges, because I call a spade a spade. If you tweaking and I rock with you, I'm still going to say you tweaking, because look, how am I going to be on the internet or, you know, or in the media, whatever the case might be, right? Someone mess up. We talk about them messing up, and then the second is someone I rock with, they mess up, then I don't say nothing. What that look like? Come on, man. Like, what that look like, bro? It's zero. Exactly. People don't like being held accountable. That's why I be burning bridges, bro. It's like, if I'm gonna call out so-and-so that I don't know and I don't rock with, and it's easy to talk about them, I need to be able to, A, if I see them in person, say it to their face. And then B, if I'm gonna say this about someone I don't know, the same situation I need to be said about someone I don't know. I do know. Going to music, right? Music with hip hop in particular. People were talking about the Clips album before it came out. Now, don't y'all be talking about the Clips album sales numbers. This ain't something that's gonna be about the album sales numbers. It's just about pure hip hop and things of that sort. Talent shouldn't be marked on the numbers and first week sale numbers, right? That's what everybody was saying. Everybody on the Clip side was saying. And don't get it twisted. I'm on the real hip hop, real rabbity rap rapper. I'm on that side. Yeah. Real hip hop is back. I'm on the Clip side, right? Kendrick, everybody like that, right? Okay, so that goes on before the album comes out. The album comes out. Travis Scott announces a surprise album that comes out that Sunday. Okay, the Sunday and everything like that. Travis album come out, it do crazy numbers, but Clips also does 120. People like, yeah, Clips does 120 real rap. Hold on. Didn't we? I thought we was all on the same page here. I thought we said numbers don't matter in hip hop. The talent and the music and the so matters, not the numbers. The numbers is irrelevant. Okay, numbers is cool. It's cool you got over 100,000 first week, but that ain't everything. But now since the numbers came back good and the numbers ain't come back to 20,000, 30,000, 40,000, 50,000, or well, you know, 50,000, anything above 30,000 in my opinion is good these days. But yeah. But the fact that they went out well, everybody want to say, oh yeah, this is a win for the Clips and hip hop. No, stand on what you said. You said the numbers was bad, so you got to stand on that. Whether or not you like the Clips or not, that's what makes all the arguments irrelevant. If it's someone you like, someone you rock with or not, if the situation is wrong, the situation is wrong. Like Zero said, regardless of how you feel about Halle and everything like that, just in terms of DDG, if you feel like bro could have handled the situation better, and if it would have been someone like who's someone that people can't stand or something like that. Feels Tekashi 6ix9ine, right? and he moved the exact same way in a similar case, man, you be on Tekashi. Man, Tekashi, and he a snitch, and he a rat. It's the same thing, bro. Like, you just have to like keep the same energy. That's all I'm asking, bro. If it's someone you rock with, keep the same energy. But I will say this: Holla is someone who be on the unpopular opinion side a lot, and that's one of the reasons why he's so successful.
They may joke about
because he go against their grain, dog.
Yo, you remember you used to hate me? That's literally how this could be taken.
Teriyaki.
But people automatically jump to one way of taking it that way. This is why you really have to just let things play out and get more information before you make assumptions. He said, what? That was a joke. Geez, I was just asking. Now, this is the part that really I didn't get, okay? She said, never heard you cuss before. That's why I'm thrown off. Now, if Cory was actually an abuser, if somebody was actually an abuser, listen to what she said threw her off. Not the fact that he wants to come destroy your life again. Clearly, she knew it was a joke too. It was the fact that she said, never heard you cuss before. That's why it threw me off. If you read the message, you'll see what her actual concern was about. But obviously, people jumped one way. And if you don't have a lot of life experience dealing with both sides of what could happen in this situation, I will understand why you jumped to that. And that's fine. Dr. 22 was good. People are saying the account was made the same day, so it isn't Cory. Even if it was, okay. Let's go to this one. I'm glad I'm the same. I don't F anymore. Double bummer. I've never seen this message. The difference between you and I, though, is that I don't do it with just anyone because I was abused. Okay, I did see this message. I'm not saying that for you to feel bad or whatever, but for you to understand. He said, I know you told me that. I didn't know I got lumped into that category with that person that did that. And this is another thing. Like if something's never happened to you before, let's take the abuse part and let's change it to cheating, right? Let's change it to cheating.
Zero, I do want to speak about this. It's not true. It's not true. It's not true. Respectfully, it's not true. It's so much hip hop that is uplifting and positive and things of that sort. You know what I mean? All of those things, right? Like it just is what it is. Like it's a lot of good rap out there right now. A lot of meaningful rap, a lot of purposeful rap. Shouts out to if you're just speaking about on a mainstream level and what's accepted on the mainstream, 100%. But like you and I both know the real hip hop, the real rap, everything like that has always lived in the underground. And the underground is so much positive stuff out there, bro.
Let's take
shout out to Free Soul. It's a bunch of folks out there really
having sex, and let's change it.
D1, as we always shout out here.
Going to the club, right? Now let's read this. People are like, yo,
I agree. We on the same page.
Why would somebody not think you get put in that same category? I'm glad I'm the same. I don't go to the club anymore. The difference between me and you is that before, when somebody went to the club, I got cheated on. I'm not saying that for you to feel bad or whatever, but for you to understand why I didn't like you going to the club. I know you told me that. I didn't think I got lumped in with cheaters because I went to the club. But people don't never take a second to think like, what else could this actually mean besides what I'm being told it means? And this is, I've had people in my real life that they will cautiously do things so they don't get lumped in with people who have done certain things to you. Like I thought I was maneuvering in a way where this person who did this to you this way and what we did, I thought I was trying to move in a way where you wouldn't just put us both together in the same box. I feel like that's what he's saying, which is very understandable. If somebody got cheated on before, there are going to be things that you do to make sure your actions don't get lumped in and judged the same way as the people who cheated. This is the same thing. Yes, this is a lot more serious.
This man Holla's really
cheating.
like twisting this,
but it just shows you how people can assume, hey, the things I do, I didn't know that I'm in a box.
Get down with OPP.
The people who did that.
Get down with OPP
because of what I did, and because I was being used to that for, I guess, the time when you told me how you felt was not real too. That's what. Oh my goodness. Okay, let me go back to these. He says, backpedal. You were never used for sex. I need to make sure that you understand that. I loved you. Like I said, I didn't have my stuff together, which is a big thing. If you want to take care of a family, take care of your wife, traditionally, the way the world tells you, a lot of people will look and say like, yo, Corey, you had, what was this? 08? I'm not 08. 2018?
I don't know if you guys
some people would say like
seen this, but it is in the Michael Jackson 30th anniversary, his last show at Madison Square Garden in 2001. I used to watch it every day, as I know. Jackson 5. Remember they did the reunion and stuff like that. They were doing ABC. Dun, 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 dun. And then in the middle of the breakdown, Marlon goes, "You're down with OPP." And then Michael like walked over to him, put his hand on his shoulder, and was like, "Stop." And some other stuff, man. I don't know about Sir Mix-a-Lot. I think that's my anaconda don't want none unless you got buns, hon.
Like, yo, Corey.
It's an 80s rap night.
You had X amount of subs. You were probably making X amount of money. You could have did it. But some people don't know. Like, it's like having kids. They say you're never going to be ready. There's never a right time. There's never a right time to get in. Sometimes it's just the courage to do it. So some people just feel like they're not ready yet. And judging by the way she responds to some things, she didn't make it easy to feel ready either. Okay. That's another part that people don't really talk about.
Yeah. No. I understand what the song was about. Very, very, toxic or whatever, but in terms of just you down with all baby, yeah, you know me. That's why I like the groove of it, things of that sort. He said it's never a right time to say. He said never the right time.
She said you love me. How is that possible? This is the chat. As somebody who dated a manipulator before,
that's the same song.
This
same
song, right
Dan.
here is manipulation. I'm trying to say everything that you did wasn't good enough. You should have did more, and you should come back and do more. You should make me feel better about how you felt about the situation. How I made you feel about our relationship wasn't good enough. You should have felt better about the situation I was present in. That's basically what I loved you. I tried to make it work. I wanted to be good to you, but the environment that I had with you
for sure
was not conducive of being positive. That's what be happening in these messages, alongside the fact that if you read the actual TikTok videos, you would have seen she was writing it like it was a fan fiction. Oh, and then my heart beat so fast, and then he said this. That kind of stuff lets you know, if you ever had a little brother and you ever hear them, or a little sister, or a little cousin, nephew, niece, whatever, when you hear them tell a story and they'll say, "Mom, look at my cut." And then that parent says, "Well, what happened?" "He threw me into the desk." That's what they say.
No,
right?
No holla, no holla, no holla, no, 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 Not this route, brother. Not this route, brother. No. Jill said he had the cassette tape. By the way, my first album was a cassette tape. It was Lil Bow Wow. Beware of Dog, I believe was the name of the album. But that was my first album, bro. How to Love, yeah, How to Love. That's one of my favorite Lil Wayne songs too, man.
Like, you were there. That's not actually what happened. They could have been poking you in the ear with a sword. They could have been slapping you in the back of the head. There's mad other things that could happen. You may have reacted in a way that caused it, but the way they're shaping the story is that you maliciously picked them up.
Yeah. But you have to believe. We have to believe women. We have to protect women. All right. And then we kind of go from, because it's way more women that's telling the truth, and people won't listen to them because they're the woman. They won't give them the benefit of the doubt, versus women who are lying for the sake of money, clout, attention, whatever the case might be. Right? It's not even. Let me see what then. That song was clean with shot. Like bro, I was singing about and singing it. Oh, I had a lot of women try to steal your heart. Never really feel how to love. I was in high school back then. Tinashe did a cover of it. It was one of the things I used to be watching on YouTube way back when. That was before 2-1.
Walk them over to the dresser.
Side note, I love to interview Tinashe someday.
And bang them on the dresser. That's how they tell the story. But that's why certain people will leave out parts of the story. Like the text message that said, it was like, that's a passive aggressive way to reveal that you have cancer. There's a reason why she didn't put the message of her telling him she had cancer. Now I need y'all to imagine for a second. Close your eyes, think of this story. Imagine that message read something along the lines of, I just want you to know that you hurt me so bad in life, and I actually found out that I got cancer and I might be able to die soon, and I just want you to know before I go that this is how you had me feeling while I was still alive. Imagine if that was the message.
I would still be like, I'm so sorry to hear that news. I'm praying for you, and I'm sorry that you felt the way that
I'm sorry you got cancer, dude. But what was all of that? All of that other stuff? People just wanted it to be like,
the model stood the test of time.
Oh, I see people like saying that he was wrong. It's only wrong if you reference it to what they actually said. But if somebody's ever telling a story, especially stories where they got screenshots, and you see parts of the story left out, there is a reason they are leaving those parts of the story out. Whenever somebody recalls a story,
I'm not rolling. I love you, brother. I love you. I'm not rolling with this, man. I can't. Someone just told you they had. I don't think there's any way you could frame a message that says, hey, and by the way, I have cancer, and you just respond, man, what a crazy way to roll out the fact that you got the C word. Like, there's no way for me. I can't envision it. I'm sorry. If she got the C word, simply say my condolences and I hope you get through this, and then cut the conversation. 100%. I think there are certain things where you just like, you don't, like, you could say, Rashad, like, I've had people to cut me off, right? And they'll say everything about me, like that they didn't like me, and say, you don't do this, Rashad. You don't do this. You don't do this. And then you're a gaslight, whatever the case might be. And it's like, if I appreciate that person for what they did, he said, look at his face. but if I appreciate that person for what they did in my life and things of that sort, I'm still appreciative. And I thank you for being a part of my life. I thank you for being a part of my journey, everything like that, things of that sort. And I want you to know it. So, like, I'm going to say thank you for your time. I'm sorry that this isn't, work out the way that you wanted it to. I appreciate you. If this is where you decide to end our friendship or whatever the case might be, so be it. But I appreciate you forever, and best of luck the rest of the way and stuff like that. You know where to reach me. Woo woo. And keep it pushing. I think there are certain messages where you don't need to nitpick and look at different parts of the message and respond to those parts. So yeah. Bottom line, there's no way that you could shape a text saying, "Hey, I got cancer" into a joke.
On the internet, you'll see a lot of people who don't take accountability. They'll say, "Well, what does that matter?" Tell the whole story and let people come to the conclusion that they want to come to. But you know what manipulators do? They tell the parts of the story they want to talk about because they know that's the best likelihood of that story being told and them getting the sympathy they want or the support they want. And they want to do everything that they can do to stop you from telling the missing pieces of the story because people might.
Well, why was it? It was really like, you got to think, Zero. Like, she probably ain't. I don't think anybody, you know what I'm saying? Like, knock on wood, everything like that, right? Nobody knows. We don't know. Like, the weirdest part about life is the uncertainty of it. Like, we don't know when any of this stuff is. We just don't know. We don't know when it's lights off. We don't know. So when something drastic like that comes out of nowhere, and you know what I'm saying, the chances of survival might be low or whatever, and you're that was so uncertain before might be a little more certain that it might be around the corner. You're doing whatever, bro. Whatever's on your mind. You playing your whole life back. Dang, I used to date this dude for 3-4 years. Like, let me at least like talk to him if this is my last time talking to him. Like, I don't know. Like, maybe he'll give me an apology that I wanted. Maybe I'll get closure that I wanted. When in reality, there's no such thing as closure. Let me change this pause screen for the sake of Dan. But you know, all of those things, like, I don't know, man. Like, your mind's just racing. I would imagine your mind's just all over the place, and you just doing like, okay, if I have 2 more weeks on this earth, like, what will I tell people? What's something that I always wanted to say to somebody? And then so Zero said, so now Corey's a bad guy because of his response. Is that the situation? I said she was just pretty much just going off of like he looks angry. I'd rather him look angry at us than him having his eyes rolled and doing this. That's what he had paused before. But okay, yeah. So this situation, the whole thing of her bringing him up is like, Corey's getting a lot of positive press. He came back to YouTube, social media, and then he came out with a manga series and stuff like that. And it was like best selling. It sold really well his first week and everything. And he's just a really successful guy. It's kind of like everybody, for the most part, really likes Corey. And I guess, you know, her as an ex-girlfriend was just looking at him like, oh, you guys have no idea. This man said he made me having cancer into a joke, and he made jokes about ABC, and he was this and that. So that's why all this stuff is coming out. Me personally, everything else I felt like was some personal stuff, you know, everything like that. Like people say, he just was a bad boyfriend. That cancer joke was one thing that kind of, I ain't gonna lie, it was like, dang, that's kind of messed up, bro. Yeah, so I don't know. I do think Corey's like, there's no good way to frame that for him, for real. Let me see what she say. So she's being jealous and spiteful. I don't know. That might be it. Let's play caption this. I don't want to do that at Holla. I usually with Holla like, hey, baseline. I don't know.
Them in a light less than what they wanted to look at them in. Now, I was not saying that just because you tell the other parts of the story that person now is wrong, or that person's now right and you're wrong because you told the story. But it gives people an accurate representation to be able to.
Me personally, going back to the Zero. Me personally, if it's someone, let me know, Dan, what you think about this pause anyway. Me personally, bro, if it's someone that did me wrong in the past and they go on and they become successful or everything like that, or they continue to be successful, I met them, they were already successful and they did me wrong and stuff, like, it take you a little while. I ain't even gonna lie, it take you a little while to like I don't want to say get over it, but yeah, kind of get over it. And a lot of times, I'm not even gonna lie to you, what it takes for me is a conversation. If I talk to the person again, I get to know them a little bit more. I'm like, okay, they didn't even mean to come at me from that angle, whatever, this and that. Or it's more hate. They get more hate from the outside or whatever like that because, they're on a larger platform. Like it's particular kind of family and things of that sort, right? That he said now he looking for the next food item. But yeah. But it's a particular family, whatever. I had a situation with the whole family hated me, right? And they have a platform and they famous and stuff, right? So they move on and they become bigger, than ever, more culturally relevant, more mainstream relevant and stuff like that. I'm looking at them like, man, y'all following these folks is man, whatever, bro. Y'all don't know the real them. They did me wrong. And then America turned on them because you know how it goes. You have highs and you have lows. There's gonna be points where everybody gonna love you on the internet, and there's gonna be points where everybody they hate you and this and that, right? And when that moment happened, when everybody turned on them, I'm like, okay, bro. Folks is turning on them for ABC reason. They don't even have no reasons to turn on. They doing it for no reason. That made me put it to bed, lay it down, and let it be. Zero said he's never done that, and he don't look back. I've been done wrong, never look back. I don't need closure. We break up. That's that. That's a very mature way to handle things and stuff like that. Everybody just ain't that mature. Me, I think I'm man enough to admit that I'm not that emotionally mature and stuff like that. Because for me, like this ain't even just about breakups. I'm talking about like friendship stuff. Like, you know what I mean? Like I'm talking about professional relationships going awry because you did me wrong in some business. You did me wrong in this. You did me wrong in trying to smear my name. You're trying to smear my name publicly because I'm telling the truth. How does that work? Like you're trying to, man, folks, if it was up to folks and haters and so on, I would have been done in 2021. So I'm still here in 2025. I do this rant every now and again. I just think about it because it's like, bro, they really tried to stop the campaign, everything like that in 2021. I'm still here in 2025. So it's just like when stuff like that happens, I can't just let it go because you really trying to affect my career, my money, my what? No, bro. I can't just let go, let God. No, because you really tried to ruin my life. I can't just let that go. So while I thought about it and I was like, man, maybe I do need to do some more maturing. While that might be partially true and things of that sort, and let it go. And I think I've done a better job with healing and all those things. At the same time, bro, it's like folks really be trying to ruin your life. And if folks ruin your life, you are going to feel a way about it. You're trying to stop my source of income. You're trying to stop whatever the case might be, whatever the case might be. Folks will really do that to you. So no, man, it takes some time, man. Nate asked, may I have some context to this? So this rant was brought to you by a thing we were just speaking about. So this video, he's speaking about Holla, my dog Holla. Shouts out to Holla. Y'all make sure y'all subscribe to him, everything like that. This is a big dog. It's a reason why I even do my lives like this, everything. 65,000 subscribers. Don't play with him. That's my boy Holla. Anyways, he's talking about the CoryxKenshin thing. Mo said Jesus said turn the other cheek. Jesus said turn the other cheek. But what happened when they picking in your pocket on your cheek? They picking in your pocket on your cheek and taking out the money. Nah, bro, I can't go for that, bro. You tried to end my life. I'm supposed to turn the other. Nah, twin. I'm gonna feel away at least for a little bit. I can't go like that. You do need to turn the other cheek and let it go. It ain't healthy holding on to grudges. What Zero say? He said it's not about being mature. It's just so tired to entertain certain types of people. My only issue was child support, and I took away my kids yet. Instead of working with me, she wanted the money. So you see, you know what I'm saying? Like You've been there before though, Zero, where you felt frustrated about a situation. You like, bro, like, come on, dog. Like, what is we doing? You all feel the way about a situation. We all feel the way about certain situations. We are human beings, bro. If you have a relationship and you break up, you're supposed to move on. Yeah, that's romantic. So I'm talking about business and friendship stuff. But yeah, Nate. He talking about CoryxKenshin, right? CoryxKenshin, he had the whole situation with his ex-girlfriend. His ex-girlfriend came out, put all the comments about him and stuff like that. So Zero was pretty much asking, where did all of this come from? I said she probably seen Corey get a bunch of positive PR and was just like, I know this ain't the same Corey that, made me feel like poop and destroyed my self-respect and my self-esteem and everything like that for years that I'm still recovering from. So she said, let me tell the internet who the real CoryxKenshin is, right? So then Zero said, what did Zero say? Zero said, oh, so she pretty much exposed all these text messages out of spite. And I said, if someone does you wrong and, you know what I'm saying, they move on and, people kind of paint a picture of them that you know not to be true, you're going to feel a way about it. I know I felt the way about certain business relationships, everything like that. I'm just like, what? But usually it just takes some time. It takes time. It takes a conversation. Or it's just like the world flip on them. And then you like, oh, no. The reasons why they flip on them is different from the reasons, your personal reasons why you have vendettas with them, whatever the case might be, issues with them and stuff like that. So I was saying that, right? And then Dan was like, I let go of stuff. I don't hold on to the past. I let it go. I never look back. That's what Dan said. I said, I feel you, but it's certain situations where people try to end my career. People try to, change the trajectory of my life at 17 years old, 18 years old. It's people who try to end my career at how old was I 4 years ago? Like 20, 25, 26. You know what I'm saying? And I'm still here. And so it's like you feel a way about it, and you're gonna feel a way about it for a little bit. And that's where that whole rant came from. I lost friendships over opinions. Me too, for sure. The world we live in is based on opinions, Dan said. And Zero said opinions and facts, but opinions is what we focus on and not facts, unfortunately. Dan said, I know because I'm a diehard sports fan and I'm facing off with other people's takes. Like I gotta respect them even though they're harsh sometimes. And then Zero said, I'm back and I'm better. I appreciate that, bro. Like I had some of the best years of my career. And like after that, like that's when I got to cover, I'm saying, White House administrations, more Super Bowls, BET Award, what I'm saying, national stuff. Like I went up more than what I was back then after they tried to end me. So it was like I was definitely just felt the way about that for sure. And then on the YouTube tip, no one's tried to stop me with YouTube. Like it's been some comments where, I'm saying, other sides of videos found it and ratioed me in the comments, but they're like, yeah, I ain't gonna subscribe to you. You ain't gonna grow no channel and stuff. And I'm growing more than ever now. So it's like, if anything, then but I don't have no vendettas against them because I never knew them. I'm talking about people in real life that try to stop the campaign and stuff like that. Throw national dirt on my name. Y'all ever had national? Man, come on, bro. All right, anyways.
To say, hey, okay, well, I see.
Like you doing KFC commercials and then throwing like Rashad Milligan's name under the, like, how does that even work? Like I just got 5,000 subscribers. People known y'all jokers since the 80s. No. Let me chill out before we go viral.
He shouldn't have took that far, but also you could have not did this, and then everybody's able to take their accountability the same way or take their.
Zero said point them out. I'll troll them. They all right, let's do it for the content, for the clip. I'll give you hints, and that's it. And once you guess it, I'm not gonna say anything. I'm gonna just keep letting the video play. And if it's wrong, I'll say it's not them. Okay. you know, Lil Nas X, right? He did the old time road. I'm gonna ride till and he had the cowboy hat on. All right. So think in the world of sports, cowboy hat, coach. Where's the cowboy hat?
People are able to give constructive criticism that gives both people whatever accountability they need. But instead, people will tell a story and they'll say, yo, that part of the story doesn't matter. Well, if that part of the story doesn't matter and won't change things, then let's tell that part of the story. But they will never say, you know, okay, go ahead. Tell them the full story. So like the cancer thing, that should have set alarm bells off in people's head to say, okay, clearly something was said there.
Brett Favre don't coach.
There that she purposely chose to crop out of the message. And whatever that was might have justified it, because if there was no reason for cutting it out, she would have put it in the message, right? And there's one last part of the thing I want to talk about.
And Van Latham, I've actually, oh yeah, shouts out to Van Latham. I met him at a party and he was cool. But it's yeah, he said, oh my bad, you said coach.
Was oh, somebody, I was actually talking to another YouTuber and they were like, why do you think that she chose now to do this? When some people have bad experiences from their perspective with you, they want people to feel the same way that they feel about you.
Well, see, there it is. We literally just said that, Zero. I literally just said that. There it is. All right, Holla. We here, Holla. Wolf is back. Dang, I didn't even know. You met the Team Z dude, Rashad, mad respect, dog. Yeah, I probably met like most if they're black person and they famous. I met a lot of them. Met a lot of them, man. Just you know, be around long enough in the industry, you gonna meet folks for sure.
They want those people to feel the same way.
Nah, it won't Dan Reeves. I ain't that old. Salute to Dan Reeves. Shout out to the Dirty Birds. You know what I'm saying? But hey, Jason Garrett. I think Brett Favre was the closest guest that you had so far.
So, I'm trying to think of an example I could give y'all. Say like you dated somebody. You're a sports player in your high school. You might have even cheated on your significant other in high school, right? But then you graduate. You say you go to the league or whatever sport you're playing in. Sometimes that person you cheated on in high school, what they're going to do is they're going to tell you get a contract. Say you get married. They're going to say, well, you know, he's a cheater, right? Because of what their experience. Now that's a experience. You were wrong. You cheated. You were wrong. But they want everybody else to know how wrong you were because they see people loving who you are now that they bring up other stuff. This is an example of one of those things. Whatever their experience was, she had a feeling about him. People are saying, oh my God, Corey's the GOAT. Corey. What am I saying? No scandal, Corey, and people love him. People look at that and they're like, no. I want you to feel how I feel about them. So now I'm gonna take whatever story I have, make a mashup of it, and give it to you, and hopefully that changes what you think of that person. And that's what happening.
Flames.
Sometimes you just gotta sit back and watch. What are people's intentions?
Wolf, my bad.
If y'all ever watch me play Among Us, this is why I'm so good at Among Us. Because once you see people it's easy to find out who the imposter is. 360 no scope them.
You know, I have a whole theory about Wolf. I have a whole theory because when he first popped up in my chat, I've always had this thing that Wolf was like I always had this theory that Tyler Creator watched my channel because like he co-signed Veda, who's shouts out to Veda, everything like that, but he co-signed her after like after his Atlanta concert. And his Atlanta concert, it got a lot of views on my channel and stuff like that. I brought a lot of people in. It's one of my most viewed videos and stuff like that on here. And I just always kind of came because he talks about watching YouTube videos all the time with like 15 views and stuff like that. So he watches channels of all sizes and he spends a lot of time on YouTube. So I was like, man, I think Tyler Creator's watching my channel. He's following my channel and things of that sort. And so with this Wolf kid, he came in one day, right? And he was talking to me. I was like, I was looking at the tour dates and stuff like that. And then it was no tour dates that day. And then I asked him about July 21st, what he thought was coming out. And he told me, he's like, I don't know. He's just like, all right. He just kept putting all right. And then the next day he announced, Tyler Creator announced, don't tap on the glass, right? So that's what he announced. So, okay, I'm like, okay. I was like, dang, Wolf, we just talked about this yesterday on stream. Tonight, Wolf comes on right before 10 p.m. Pacific time. And he comes on and he's like, hold on. I got to go somewhere. I might be back later. And he comes back at around 11:20 p.m. West Coast time. Tyler Creator had a thing in LA at 10 p.m. It's I'm just throwing out stuff. Just throwing out stuff.
Out this situation. Now, I'm not gonna stand on a stake and say there was nothing Corey could have done better or worse in these situations if he's a bad person. What I am gonna say is, based on what people were told, what screenshots came out, none of them should have amounted to people jumping to the conclusion of what they jumped to. None of it. You know the math test in school where the answers are like A 3, B 27, C 32, D not enough information. That what that question is meant to show you is that even if you have some information, there are going to be some times where you don't have enough information to come to the conclusion of the possibilities. What people seen in this, they said, is Corey an abuser? Is he not? None of this information amounted to you being able to say one way or the other. Okay. Now, Corey might do a video. He showed a parts of the messages that were cut out. You might come to the conclusion, yo, Corey was not an abuser at all. She was just narcissistic. You might come to listen. She might have been. What's another way I could say this? She might have been like, some people are just not good people. Let's be honest. They don't provide a way for you to have healthy environments with them. You might come to that conclusion. You might see more of the text messages and you might come to the conclusion that, yo, that thing she said, she was right. You might come to that conclusion. But with the information you were given, you cannot make a decision either way. And some people need to learn that the life is not about choosing sides. You don't have to choose a side until you can come to a conclusion that you feel is concrete. People want to jump the gun just so
very much a possibility
they don't get caught in the middle. Oh, cool. Like, there are people who I seen other YouTubers who if Corey stood next to them, they would be two-handed gawking away. I've seen it. I seen these YouTubers 10 minutes after these allegations hit talking about some, yo, see, this is why you can't look up to people. This really, what those people are saying, the way I live, I could never be a role model. So don't look at anybody else as a role model. I think that's kind of weird to me, that you live in a way where people shouldn't be able to look at you and say, that's how I should live. That means you purposely do things that you know are negative, but you don't want the responsibility for the actions that you do. But anyway, back to what I was saying. People are so.
What do you mean by that?
They want to jump out there and pick a side. Oh, there's some people who said, "Yo, this can't be Corey." Those people. Unless you know Corey personally, you wouldn't really know. You just kind of need to digest the situation. 10 minutes after you see something is not long enough to think about. No, and these aren't even. Samo said Twitter users are brain dead. No surprise. These people were not Twitter users. These people were other. Well, they use Twitter. I use Twitter too. These people were other content creators that I know. If Corey walked into a room, they would be hurtling over people to take a picture a week ago. And you see a couple messages, and you can't, some people cannot wait to see people who people look at in a good light. They cannot wait for people to be dragged back down to how they feel about themselves.
I'll also have to say this, right? In that case. And I think this is true for everybody. Like, right, what did J. Cole say? Anybody is it all you gotta do, just put us some limps. At night we seen up and a brother at the light, nice watch running. Anyways, anybody can be pushed to the limit. Like, we all are one thing away from being criminal, whatever the case might be, right? One decision away from changing the rest of our lives. All of us in this chat, watching a replay, we're all one decision away. I think one thing about that is, okay, we recognize that as humans, this is how fickle life is and things of that sort. We kind of need to stay away from that type of energy, right? Like, and that, I think that goes to, what Dan is talking about, us embracing toxicity. Like, we like sitting in the toxicity because it might become familiar to us and everything like that. And okay, it's cute. Oh, we toxic. Yeah, that's my girl. We toxic, And then when the toxic gets dangerous, now it's an issue. Now it's this. Now it's, oh man, watch who you keep around you, man. This girl done painted me out to be crazy. They ain't know that she, called me a mama's boy and a little blah, 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 and kept punching my chest and said that I want nothing and I'll never amount to anything in life before I retaliate. That doesn't matter. All that matters is the retaliation. You the man. So you're going to be held liable. It's not fair. It's life.
That's what be happening. I feel like I'm not good enough to be a role model. The world found out you're not a role model either. Maybe I'm not that bad of a person. That's what really be going through people's head. And that's it. I think everybody, hey, BetterHelp promo code Big Holla. Y'all, people gotta go to therapy, bro.
That's funny.
And I never knew how.
But you can't look up to people. Like on the side note, like, you can't look up to people.
Never
bro.
knew.
Literally, it's biblical. This is a biblical principle. You cannot look up to people, bro. Like, man is gonna let you down every single time. You can't look up to people. Like, regardless. Like, you can't look up to LeBron James. You can't look up to Drake. You can't look up Drake. I know it's crazy. I just went there, but you can't look up to anybody, any human, because humans are just humans. They're gonna let you down. Just is what it is. So I think you take the art for what it is. I think now with live streaming and stuff like that, we're more connected to folks than ever. And we feel like we, what I'm saying? I know some people might say, I don't feel like it. Okay, I'll speak for myself. I feel like I might, know a little more about them now versus as of 20 years ago when there wasn't live streaming and all this and stuff like that. Just is what it is. Look up to real people with flaws and not people that mask up their failures. Yeah, and I mean, 100 is. I think you can take pros and cons from everybody, to be honest. It's actually real talk. So Holla's saying the thing about when content creators and people say, like, I can never be a role model because if I become a role model, they're going to cancel me and this or that, and thinking that's like problematic to say. I don't think it is. I think, like, when people become famous, when they become public figures, people just place this like unrealistic expectation of morality on them. It's like, wait, hold on. He was just Dan from Starbucks. Now he's Dan from Twitch, and now he's supposed to be like freaking Gandhi. Like, you know what I'm saying? Nobody's perfect, bro. Nobody's
how
perfect.
Important therapy was. because my school since kindergarten had counselors and therapists inside of it. Anything happened, you go to the counselor. The counselor talk to you 15, 20 minutes. Counselor visit your classroom every quarter. Come stay in the classroom with you for the whole class for like an hour, observe, pull kids they think they need to talk to. That's what was going on in my schools. Okay. So maybe me growing up with access to therapy like that, I also have a blinded view of people who didn't have the access to that same thing. But I think people should look into therapy a little bit more to help them cope with the projection that they do.
Holla is an a-hole, bro.
About other people. People really need mental health to be on. Hey, it's true.
Have is YouTube something that banned from
you're taught about
years ago when I said that.
Math, language arts, social studies.
hey, I don't even want to know what you said about DeMar, man. Shouts out to my boy DeMar, man. Shouts out to my brother DeMar, man.
You go to PE, learn about physical education, mental education, knowing why your brain jumps to conclusions or works in a way.
The COVID conspiracy era was definitely an error, bro. You talk about opinions that split families and friends. Oh my goodness! And then they came out with the jab.
The way that it works is very important for you to be able to navigate the world without the things outside of you manipulating exactly what goes on in your head. And I think that's. But the YouTubers, when I seen all the YouTuber tweets coming out, it was nasty work. Not nasty, filthy, dirty work. I wanted to boot up a stream so bad, but I knew. Well, one, I was busy. Two, I just knew I was going to force some people to answer some questions they were not ready to really stand on. They put out a tweet. They made it vague. Corey's evil. That's what
Zero,
they did.
You don't even have to tell me about that. I done picked up from. Hey, look, I already know, Zero. You was saying some crazy stuff. Let me see. He said you went hardcore at Hamlin when you had the heart attack on the field. And I said we should be focused on football, and I got banned from Facebook for that. Nah, that was crazy, bro. Nah, that was crazy, dog. Because like that joint, if we talk about DeMar Hamlin, man, it was so crazy because I was already looking at it was so much with football that just had a PR hit. Like the concussion Will Smith movie just came out. People talking about CTE, like Aaron Hernandez offed himself, and then but he did it in the heart and the chest, so they could still study his brain. They found out he had like severe CTE, and then like this other kid that they used to play for the Giants had severe CTE, and he like ended up just frolicking like. This stuff gets deep with football, bro. Tua having darn near, whatever you want to call him, on the field twice after hard hits. Man, what? Football already took a huge PR hit, right? So then it's like DeMar Hamlin died on the field. Oh, man. In the middle of all of that, a man dies on the field? You can't be serious, bro. Bro, died in the game on prime time? Can't be serious, bro. So yeah. I mean, it was definitely something for football. He said everything I posted was true and it was flagged for misinformation, but now that same information is true. That's why he's Zero. I could put two and two together on what you think happened with DeMar Hamlin and stuff like that, man. That's why I'm gonna talk about the person more than the game, because there are players, whether it's basketball, football, baseball, hockey, etc. Yeah, man, people are human, dog, and the fact that like an athlete in his prime just dropped dead from a hard hit in the middle of a prime time nationally televised game was crazy, bro. It's crazy. I'm glad he made it though, but God. Also, by the way, I want to say this, Zero, and I want to say this to anybody watching. Not only did I receive the jab, I received the booster and the second booster. Ain't not happened to me. That is easy. Now some, knock on wood, 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 everything like that. I want y'all to know it wasn't the jab, because that done happened about 4 or 5 years ago. Not 5 years ago, but about 4 or 3 years ago. It wasn't that. It was probably something else for me. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. But knock on wood, knock on wood, knock on wood, knock on wood. To God be the glory. All right. These are players overshot. Going to war when they stepped up on the field and they put their bodies out there 100%, but they don't think that they gonna like be unalive. Like, you don't think like you think, okay, I might be paralyzed, I might lose a foot, I might lose a, you ain't gonna think like I'm gonna lose my life. Like, you ain't thinking that playing the game that you played your whole life. No, I don't think it was jab. I meant there's a tons of situations that could be linked. Okay, but most people think it. You know what I'm saying? They thought what they thought. And that was one of the big conspiracies and things of that sort.
Now that the dust settled, I ain't seen no tweets come back out from these people saying like, oh man, I jumped to conclusions. Oh, everybody's afraid to admit when they're wrong. Life would be so much easier if people could say, you know what? That thing I did, I was wrong for that. The way I handled that, I was wrong for those things I assumed. I was wrong for that. But I think to be that type of person also would stop some of these people from trudging forward and becoming the great creators that they be. Some people be great content creators because they lack that ability.
I agree.
But when it comes to real world things, people have to be able to say, you know what, I was wrong. I'm trying to think of something. What have I been wrong about? It's really hard to say about like public stuff because I don't really jump out the gate and say, I was wrong about Angel Reese is hooping. She looked like prime Michael Jordan right now.
See, now, okay. I was supposed to, so I was in Atlanta for the month of June. And I talked to Holla like right around the time of Streamer University. I was like, "Are you really going?" Because he tweeted out like a joke that I got accepted into Streamer University. I said, "You going for real?" He said, "Nah, I ain't going." Everything like that. So we caught up about life and stuff. I said, I'm headed to Atlanta next week for my little sister graduation. I'll be there for the month. He said, "Oh, bet you got to stop by, pull up on us." And he said, "We got to talk about Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark." Because everybody know women's basketball my thing, and that's what they talk about on their show too. And when they give their takes, I just be like, "Oh my goodness, watch the games." So him saying I was wrong about Angel Reese, she hooping, whoop whoop, brother. She's always been hooping. She did this last year, like same darn near stat lines, bro. Watch the games, bro.
To be able to say that, but some people, they're so unwilling to say like,
sometimes you got to be careful on what you say.
I was wrong
with your tongue, because that is a weapon. Yes 100%. There's power in life of the tongue, 100%. So God, I thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you for a fruitful, long, prosperous, everything like that. And thank you for blessing the chat as well, all the homies. Woo woo, in Jesus' name, amen. For sure. And healthy lifestyles, all the things. I went through the whole pandemic without being sick. I lost both jobs. I got through Uber Eats. But if you think the jab was best for you then I support your choice. Yeah, no. I didn't get sick until after I got the jab. Because, like, I'm doing like a bunch of stuff where I'm interviewing people. I'm talking to people right here. I'm going to like events and dinners where dinners were the worst, because it's like everybody got to take their mask off at a dinner. Take my mask off. That's the first time I got sick. Never had Uber Eats. I usually go with DoorDash. But Uber Eats, I think I use for like a ghost kitchen. Like I pulled up and they only had Uber Eats, so I had to like use it for my Uber app and stuff like that and get Uber Eats. And then like they like brought it out to me in the parking lot. But yeah.
Something. I was wrong about Angel Reese. I ain't gonna cap. She's cooking. She is cooking. Okay. What else have I been wrong about? I always try to.
Reese had moments where she played below her value to me. This season, I think she played better, but she needs to be consistent and she still needs to improve. 100%, she still needs to improve. But people was talking like she didn't deserve to be in the league. I'm like, bro, she was on an all-star her rookie season. She had the longest streak in WNBA history of consecutive double-doubles. Like, what are we talking about here, actually? Like, you can say, okay, she's not the best player in the WNBA. That's fine. I'm cool with that. But you can't say no, like, Angel Reese don't even deserve. She trash. She this, she that. No. Because you seen a couple clips of her missing layups and shots under the basket and putbacks and stuff like that. I don't mean she was the worst player in the world. Because obviously she was doing other things the whole time when she missing layups and stuff like that. She's still one of the top players on, I was about to say in high school. She was still one of the top defenders in the league, you know what I'm saying? In addition to being a generational rebounder. So it's like she was still doing things at an exceptionally high level. Did I watch the WNBA All-Star game? I didn't, Dan, because I went to a rap show last night. I went to see Lareezy last night. Shouts out to Lareezy. There's a short on it on my channel, sub-plug, sub-promotion, that I uploaded last night. You can watch that and stuff. I'll probably upload him performing a couple songs on my channel too at some point. Yeah, my girl got it after she got the jab and she was mad at me. I bet she was. She was like, life ain't fair. How come I get the jab and I get it? You don't get the jab and you never got it.
Go back to music. There was a time I didn't
It
like.
was terrible, bro. By the way, I wish that pain on nobody, dog. And I was talking to my editor at the time, opening up a little bit, and he was just like, "Bro, you just gotta walk around like you can't let it defeat you, like because that's what it want. But you gotta walk around, be strong, stay strong." I was like, "Bro, I barely have like the energy to keep my eyes open." He said, "Trust me, I know." I had no idea this man died like maybe like a month or two later. Found out he had cancer whole time. Didn't know my editor was going through that, bro. His name was Ali, man. Rest in peace, Ali, early. Make sure you support the family, everything like that. I believe their GoFundMe might still be open, but I think they closed the GoFundMe. They closed it like a year or two ago. But yeah, man. He was telling me that when I was sick with COVID. And like looking back on that conversation, it's like it just looks so much different now. Just like stay up, stay strong. It wants you to stay down. It wants you to be. But like I was going through it that first time. It was terrible. I don't wish that on my worst enemy, bro. They said Paige Bakers had a good performance. Yeah, she had a lot of assists. I'm healthy in terms of being active. Yeah, that's something that my mentor, he was saying. Yeah, I never got COVID and stuff like that because I'll be riding the bike and stuff. I think it helps a little bit, but I don't think like COVID is just random, to be honest, bro. Dang, Earl, sorry to hear that for sure. Yeah, it was crazy. I ain't gonna lie to you. My cousin passed of COVID, and my homegirl. Oh, can you say COVID on? Wait, hold on. I got to be careful with saying it because I remember on YouTube for like 2-3 years you could not say it, dog. Like if you said it, they flag your video. Could not make no money off it. WNBA All-Star against like they may have fumbled the bag, but it didn't matter because that like Stud Buzz was the win. So that was the win for the WNBA that All-Star game for real, for real. The actual product, the game, and it was trash, but like the NBA. But I will say this: the NBA game, the MNB, the Men's Basketball Association, has always been trash, right? Always been trash for the last since the year Kobe passed. When Kobe passed, the game was fire. Everybody was competitive, everything like that. That was 2020. Ever since then, it's been trash. So the WNBA game has been a little better in past years, but this year, apparently, I guess it was trash again. Condolences to your brother, first of all, Zero. And my girl was in the hospital. She couldn't. They want to keep her and send her back home. Gosh, Lee, terrible. Well, the All-Star game so didn't matter if I'm back. Yeah, Biden ain't in office no more. When I saw my friend's mom this weekend, she was talking to me about her son, and you know how we got to talking. Yeah, I'm already knowing, brother.
Drake.
I'm glad you was able to have that moment with her though, for sure.
I thought Drake was good first. Then there was a period of time where I didn't like Drake. Like nothing was the same era. Didn't really like Drake, but I came back around. All right, Holla moan. That's crazy. Moaning is crazy. The way she worded it makes me think Swift. That's a fact. That's a fact.
All-Star game sucks since 04. After 2012,
but
it became unbearable to watch the game.
That's all I really wanted to say. I don't think there's too much else about the Corey
2020 was good though. The year that Kobe and Gigi passed because they changed the rules and they all competed for Kobe. That was a good year. I ain't gonna lie. It was a good game.
That should be too crazy. Hopefully, he continues to make videos. I've seen people canceling their orders to Monsters We Make. I seen people like threatening to like burn their copies. I was watching.
Burning a copy is so stupid, bro. Burning stuff, burning the jersey, burning a book of someone, or burning a CD is so. You already bought it. The person already made money off. Like, what are you doing? Oh, I showed them with this symbolic symbol. I'm gonna burn it down. You already bought it. They already made the money. What are we doing here?
And look how the world will prop you up, but they cannot wait.
That's deep zero.
To tear you back down to where they feel like they are. People applaud people because they feel like they're gonna get out of the situations that that y'all are all in. At the end of the day, let me tell you something, okay? No matter what box you feel like you're in, once you get out that box, there's just a bigger box. All right. So you wanting people to get forced back in that small box that you feel like you're in, they're still in a box somewhere. All right. You get out of the school system, you get a job. You get out of the regular job, you got entrepreneurship. You become a millionaire. Now people want you to save the world. You got to be CEO. Now there's always going to be those boxes that have their own conflict in them, and everybody's dealing with conflict.
So see, here's the thing about this. Stud Buzz is going to be the only thing that can save the WNBA All-Star game, and the problem with that is it will never be like what it was the first year. It will just always be like you'll never be able to recreate that magic because it's going to be people who are conscious of it. They know how it looks. They know how the clips went viral. They're going to be, oh, don't clip me. Oh, don't get me on stream. Oh, I don't want to be saying that on stream. Oh, I don't want to be looking drunk on stream. Oh, no. That really hurt my brand opportunities, isn't that? And it's going to ruin everything. Like, so I don't think Stud Buzz will be like how it was this year. I don't think the same magic will ever be able to be replicated. So because of that, yeah, like you said, WNBA All-Star might be in trouble in the future.
But some people rather focus on other people's conflict than their own. You know what I'm saying? Hey, listen, I am taking counselors. If you would like to talk, we only charge $200 an hour. You know what I'm saying? Come on, come down to the Big Holla. I'm just kidding, man. I do think I need to talk like this more on stream because it'll give people more of a personable version of the way I function in life. And
but we talking from a wide range perspective. You know what I'm saying? We talking about from a wide range perspective, Zero. Like in terms of like overall All-Star success. Like for the league, like say example, NBA. For the NBA, a successful All-Star weekend would be having a viral dunk from the dunk contest. Or Steph Curry setting the 3-point record in the 3-point contest. Like I think he did that in Atlanta, right? 2021 when everything was shut down. Steph Curry set the record and it was like a big deal. That made that weekend, that All-Star weekend, a success. If you know what I'm saying, if Donovan Mitchell comes out in a Vince Carter jersey and does the 360 windmill to win the dunk contest, that's a W weekend for the All-Star game. If Aaron Gordon gets his mascot to come out there on a hoverboard going a circle 360, and then Zach LaVine does some crazy stuff as well, that's a W for the NBA, right? Isn't that the fact? Oh, shoot, Kobe locked down so-and-so. Rest in peace, God rest Kobe's soul. Kobe locked down so-and-so on this position. Like, the NBA don't care about that because the masses don't care about that, to be honest. So it's like he said I'm comparing optics to competition. Yeah. Because I feel like optics is what, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, what they view as a successful All-Star weekend. Dan said, "Do I think the Celtics are going to be good next year with no KP, no Al Horford, no Drew, and Tatum hurt? No. If that Mac McClung contest 3 years straight was freaking insane. Yeah, the first couple of years was. Well, I ain't gonna lie. I still like Mac in the. I ain't gonna lie to you. As long as he can come up with new dunks, I'm rocking with it. He just needs some more competition. Like he needs someone who going like make it a tough decision. The masses care about Adam Silver is why the NBA is failing. That Adam Silver is why the NBA is failing. The thing is, they just haven't had like a viral moment outside of that for a successful All-Star weekend. Like I don't think people would care about the games because like I would say that people care about the games during the Aaron Gordon, Zach LaVine, battle and stuff like that. People did care because that was the Toronto year, Kobe's last All-Star game and stuff like that. So people cared. But a lot of the most iconic moments in All-Star history, like, okay, we'll go even further back. When Magic came back from HIV, right? He retired that year and they voted him an All-Star. So he came back to play the All-Star game, right? Did anybody care about the actual game? Or did they just care that Magic came back, he played that game, and he backed down. I don't know if it was Isaiah Thomas or someone else. He backed him down, turned around, deep three, and they just ended the game after he made the shot because everybody's reaction to it was crazy. Does anybody care about the rest of that game? Nobody cares about the rest of that game. Like in my life, I remember 03, Jordan's last All-Star game. It was in Atlanta. I fell asleep because, I'm in dang third grade. I'm 8 years old. But I remember seeing the replays and everything of Jordan hitting the fadeaway baseline jumper to send it into overtime, and then they end up losing. Kevin Garnett wins it for the West, and he wins All-Star Game MVP. I remember that just being a very competitive game. I remember other years. I think it was 2008 in New Orleans, where it was like LeBron James and like I think Joe Johnson, and then the big three for the Celtics led the East to like a 28-point comeback, and LeBron had like a crazy dunk, and it became competitive and everything like that. I remember that. Like, it's just not too many moments in my entire life where I'm just like, dang, All-Star game, we get the best games. Nah, bro, it was like All-Star game. I can't believe I get to watch Allen Iverson on the floor with Tracy McGrady and Vince Carter at the same time. Like, that was just exciting to me as a kid. And I think the older I get, the more I kind of see past like the smokes and mirrors of like, oh, see all the big players in one, especially doing media and like covering a lot of these guys. And it's not the same excitement. And I can't be mad that I don't have the same excitement for stuff like of me being a kid and stuff was new to me. You know what I mean? And he said you get viral moments out of competition. So you're saying competition like dunk contest competition, 3-point, whatever the case is, you get it from competition. I remember when okay, let's do this. The dang year, I think it was Kyrie and Tim Hardaway. Was it Tim Hardaway Jr. when they went back and forth in a rookie sophomore's All-Star game, right? That was a very viral moment. I think that actual score was like a 20-point game. It's like a 20, 40-point game. But everybody remembers that moment where Tim Hardaway Jr. and Kyrie went back and forth at each other in a rookie, you know what I'm saying? Matt McClung jumping over the dang car was dope. Rashad, you, me, and Zero will break our hamstrings if we tried to jump over it because we are old people. Yeah, man, for sure. For sure. But it is what it is. Matt McClung was dope, but it's just like he needed more folks, bro. Like he need better competition to make it worth something. You know what I'm saying? Like he just need more competition, which is what Zero's saying. That's what's gonna make it better. Zero said he doesn't remember. Hold on, let me see if I pull up at least a picture of it. Kyrie Ricky game. There we go. This joint, right? Oh, was it Brandon Knight? It might have been Brandon Knight, but Kyrie and him were going back and forth. Like it was like bucket. Let me see. Kyrie. Let me put Tim Hardaway Jr. Hardaway Jr. rookie game. Dang, they don't even have this up. So see, this might have been. Oh, okay. It was Tim Hardaway Jr. versus Deion Waiters. This game was like a 40, but it was like everywhere. And then I remember this Kyrie thing where he put the kid on skates. I don't know if it was it was Brandon Knight. He crossed him up and made him fall, and it was a big deal. Game was like 40 points. It wasn't a competitive game. So I say all that to say that, like,
I do think it can help people because I be letting these other people talk, and they just be leading people down dead ends. I'm gonna be honest. A lot of YouTubers, a lot of business people, people you see with a lot of money, a lot of them, they don't see people as anything other as a means to an end. But the people who reach the top are always the one who look at you for who you are. You know what I'm saying?
oh God! All right.
Rashad, why you didn't hit me up? What's up, Rashad? Hey, Rashad.
What's up, Rashad?
Thank you, Rashad.
Brother, I love you, brother.
What's up, Rashad? What it do, boy?
Hey, Rashad.